In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life. This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Silent Witness, the cold case podcast that dives into true crimes and tries to find justice for the family and victims. We today are talking about, I already forgot her name.
Marianne Wilkinson.
I don't get to know these things ahead of time.
Right.
So Christina has all the details.
I do.
So we're going to talk about Marianne Wilkinson.
Marianne Wilkinson.
And this is DFW area.
Yes.
All right.
Tarrant County.
Let's go. Oh, Tarrant County.
Well, it's still DFW.
No, yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, I have, anyway.
Anyway, so let's talk about Marianne Wilkinson.
Yes, ma'am.
Marianne was born November 4th, 1939 in the Dallas area.
Okay.
Her parents were Dorothy and Dr. Joseph Wilbur Borland.
Okay.
Her grandfather was, let's back up. Her father was an OBGYN.
Okay.
In the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Her grandfather was also a doctor, and he was credited with the invention of the incubator.
Oh, cool. Okay.
For premature infants, yeah. So Marianne graduated from Highland Park High School, and that's in the Dallas area. I don't know if you're familiar with Highland Park. It's beautiful.
By name and yes. By name and reputation.
I think George Bush lived there, and the most prominent. Yeah, it's beautiful.
So it's a big money spot.
Oh yeah,
it's money.
But she was a popular student.
Okay.
Had served on many organizations. After high school, I believe she attended college in Hawaii for a short period of time, but came back and attended SMU.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And SMU, Southern Methodist University, is in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
It's a private school.
Gorgeous campus.
Gorgeous. It's a private school, private college, but that's where she met Jesse Don Wilkinson.
Okay.
And Don, as he's known, they hit it off, began dating, and they were married in 1961.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They had 2 children, Melanie and Michael, and they settled in Euless, Texas.
Where's that?
It's in that area.
I'm like,
You'll have to Google. I
Okay.
should have looked that up.
No,
See?
you're you never know what I'm going to ask you about.
I know.
So that's fair. I throw you some curveballs.
I know. I've heard of Euless, and I believe it's in that vicinity.
Like up around
Hurst,
there. Okay.
and I think it's all up in there.
So they had that typical college romance, got married, had their kids, and still stayed relatively close to her family. Do we know where he was from? Just curious. It's not a
no.
Okay.
I don't know much about his family. I was just focused in on her.
Sure.
But again, they had 2 children that they raised, Melanie and Michael. And Don was a chemist. He worked for the same company. I forget the name. I should have wrote it down. But it was in Grand Prairie.
Okay.
And Grand Prairie is in between. It's by Arlington, where our lovely Cowboys play. So it's in between Dallas and Fort Worth.
Okay.
Marianne raised her family. She was kind, positive. She had a good sense of humor, gifted seamstress.
Oh, cool.
Raised their children. And then they retired and she found herself a Mimi, becoming a Mimi.
Oh,
Yeah, sweet.
That's a joy.
It's better than raising kids, I think.
Better than raising kids?
Yes.
Heck yeah.
Being a
It's
grandmother?
way more fun.
Of course. You can rile them up and give them back.
Well, you can love on them.
Yeah.
Buy them all the fun stuff you
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
afford with your own kids.
Yeah. And then the parents are like,
And say
no,
bye.
don't buy that. And we're like,
They don't get a vote.
yeah. Who are you?
No vote for you.
But apparently Marianne loved being a Mimi.
Oh, well, yeah.
Dawn retired
Okay.
by then. And they, of course, they lived the retired lifestyle. You know,
Okay.
it was filled with travel, church, grandchildren.
Oh.
She was also a master gardener.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
At this point, they were living in Keller, Texas,
Okay.
and her yard won best yard just probably countless times.
Cute.
You know, she just loved being a gardener.
That's so cool. That takes a lot of talent. Like, that takes a lot of skill.
It does.
I kill everything.
Me too.
Really?
I do, and
Me
like
too.
when I go to the farmer's market here, I have to say, okay, what can I keep alive that dies? Everything that comes in my house.
Everybody tells me cactus and snake plants. I'm like, yeah, I've killed both of those. Anything else?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Anyway,
No,
Marianne.
you're good. But I think her roses, I've seen pictures online of her roses.
Really?
And they're even now still alive.
What?
Yeah, her son, I believe her son and daughter-in-law got some from her yard and
Oh,
for their yard. Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah. So after many years of living in Keller, they moved to North Richland Hills in
Okay.
2006. So
Also in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Okay.
right. That is in Tarrant County. It's the outskirts of Fort Worth. It's near
Mhm.
Hurst. It was voted one of the 10, it's been year after year, 10 best cities to live in Texas, top 10 suburbs of DFW area.
Sure. From the hills, you can see Jerry's World. You can see Dallas Stadium.
Arlington, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I did look online, but they, let me back up. They moved to a beautiful home and settled in Spence Court, which is a cul-de-sac in North Richland Hills.
Okay.
And I did look online at
Sure.
that cul-de-sac, not specifically their beautiful homes.
Is it?
Oh,
Well, now
yes.
You're speaking my language, and I've got to look it up.
Yeah, I knew.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Spence Court, and it's just a little small cul-de-sac with houses, and if you do the satellite view, you can see the houses are just dark brick, beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, probably
Ooh.
today's worth. Probably, what would you say? You're the expert.
Well, I don't. I'm the Waco expert.
Oh well,
in
I would.
surrounding areas, but I'm looking at this one, and
They're
in the 800s
and
up.
Yeah, for sure.
Gorgeous. Okay.
Again, it was an upscale cul-de-sac. All
Yeah.
the homes are beautiful. Marianne decorated the home just wonderfully.
Wow.
She decorated it, and it just wasn't a plain old home. And of course, gardened,
Right.
made her yard beautiful, and they settled into their new home and new community.
Okay.
So
So they've had a good life. So this isn't like, I feel like the rest of the ones we've done so far, it's like lives cut short.
yes,
You
and
know
this is going to be that way too. Her life was definitely cut short.
Oh.
Yeah. Because now we're going to jump a year to December 9th, 2007.
Okay.
So they moved in North Richland Hills in 2006. So by December 9th, 2007, it was a typical chilly December Sunday. Well, maybe in Texas it wasn't quite as chilly, but
Could go either way.
Marianne's house was ready and decorated for Christmas, as most Texans do. And they were Cowboys fans. And the Cowboys actually won against the Detroit Lions that afternoon. They won 28 to 27.
Actually won.
Well,
Well.
they actually won 28 to
Well,
27. So
that,
that
was a good game.
that
then.
would have been a good game.
Yeah.
A nail biter. But they watched it, and that afternoon they just were settling into a nice evening. Couple, quiet TV after dinner, just relaxing. That we all do on a Sunday
Sure.
afternoon. Around 8 p.m., the doorbell rang.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't expecting anybody, and again, this was in 2007. They weren't expecting company. Nobody was expected to come over.
No Amazon packages coming.
No. I don't think it was 2007. Yeah, and at 8:00 at night, I'm not sure that would be an odd package coming that late. I'd answer my door.
I'm like, girl, I get packages delivered at like 10 o'clock.
Well,
they get there when they get there.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Around 8 p.m., the doorbell rang. Marianne popped up, answered the door, and immediately was met with a stranger holding a gun. And immediately fired several times at close range. Shots were fired so quickly, Marianne just had no time to react. Nothing. No time to react at all. Dawn, of course, startled, jumped up, hurried to the door. A neighbor also heard the shots, called 911.
Good job, neighbor.
Dawn called 911 and stated, quote, "Somebody rang the doorbell and shot her. I need help quick."
Oh.
So with the help of 911 operator, which they do, is Dawn immediately began CPR. Marianne was alive, but, labored breathing. Police quickly arrived and they took over CPR. Again, labored breathing, and they were trying to save her, saying, the officer was saying, "Hey, stay with me. Come on, stay with me." But Marianne succumbed to her injuries right there in the foyer. Yeah, very sad.
What the random? Just somebody rang the doorbell and shots were fired.
Yeah, just.
What the heck?
I know. It just, there's a theory that we're going to get into about that.
And this is like pre-ring doorbell.
Right.
I mean, everybody's got it now, but.
Yeah. And pre, there were surveillance cameras then, but not like they are now. Not where everybody has a ring doorbell.
Right.
Except me, because I can't get it in. I can't screw it in.
Do you need help?
I did. Listen.
We'll do it. We'll help.
I think I just need a better drill, because my dumb thing has been sitting there since Christmas because my stupid pink drill won't work.
Oh, but it's pink.
It is pink.
There you go. So they couldn't. So they didn't have like footage to pull from anywhere.
And the police.
What the heck?
There was a little bit here and there, and I'll kind of explain, what witnesses did see. But Dawn, from there, as I guess the police were working the crime scene, called family. His kids are grown by now, and he just couldn't speak. He called his son Mike, and was just in such shock he couldn't speak. He couldn't get the words out.
Yeah.
According to an NBC News interview in 2017, this call changed their lives forever. Mike, his son, and of course Dawn, obviously, Mike's wife Terry, daughter, grandchildren. That horror and that pain still live with that family.
Well, yeah. Well, and
it's just confusing, shocking,
pointless.
Yeah, and she was just, and if you were to Google her picture, she just looked like the kindest, sweetest lady. Just beautiful. She's beautiful. If I need to look like her. She was just.
Stop it.
Listen, go look up a picture of her. She's just. Anyway,
I'm looking.
It's just sad, and their friends, the grief, the family, the friends. It was just, you just can't. No. You just can't.
I Googled the wrong person. Christina said, no. My bad.
But
I'll find her later. So she was super kind, amazing.
Yeah. Just, she was 68.
Okay. I mean, that's young.
It is young. It's very young. She, like, who would kill this beautiful 68-year-old lady? Like, who would go to the door and just shoot her and run away?
Were there other things going on, like in the neighborhood? They just shot her and ran? They didn't come inside and try to steal stuff? They just shot her and ran?
Shot her and ran. Took off.
Why?
So, could she or Dawn have any enemies? Everyone knew the couple, and there was no enemies.
Okay.
This was just a church-going, lovely couple.
Okay.
They had no enemies. A witness did see a person in a hoodie leaving the scene shortly after the shots were fired.
Okay.
And get in the passenger side of a tan or a gold sedan. So this suggests more than one person is involved.
Right.
Because there's a driver.
So they got in the passenger side?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So the shooter ran to the car, to the tan or gold sedan, and got in the passenger side.
Did they have the wrong house?
Huh?
Did they have the wrong house?
What do you mean?
The killer.
I don't know.
Because that sounds like a hit. That sounds like.
Yeah.
So, but if they didn't, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
maybe they had the wrong house. Maybe they killed the wrong person.
So you're jumping ahead like
I'm sorry. It's how my brain works, Christina.
I know.
It's
You're
just where it
wanting
goes. Okay, they jumped into a goldish
Yeah.
sedan
Yes.
on the passenger side.
Yes.
So there's people.
And when you look at the cul-de-sac on the map, on satellite, I love Google Satellite. It is the best thing ever.
It is.
But, the cul-de-sac is just like a round little driveway thing.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I don't know how to describe. You describe it. This is your field.
This is my field. A cul-de-sac, or like they had
a cul-de-sac.
They had a half drive.
No.
Half circle
Like
drive.
a cul-de-sac's just one little street that's a circle, right?
Yeah, it's like a half circle.
Yeah. And
It's like a bump off the main road.
right. And there was one road leading out. So
Okay.
And that was North Tarrant Boulevard. And that was a main road. So they turned east on North Tarrant Boulevard.
Okay.
And there's just one way in and one way out of that cul-de-sac.
What?
Of course, in 2007, like you said a while ago, there's not many cameras.
Right.
And people didn't have Ring cameras. There was probably a few. The few cameras police did find, probably at businesses
Sure.
they were examined to no avail. Nothing was seen.
Yeah, it's not CSI, people. That stuff doesn't usually
Not back
produce
then.
much.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
If it had been just a few years later, they would have seen everything on camera. That's, not 5 years later, Ring cameras and everything started,
Sure.
popping up, especially on homes, more affluent homes.
Yeah.
But police told a local TV station that a cell phone was found near the scene.
Okay.
But it's unclear if it had anything to do with the crime or if it was a random coincidence, and they still
Sure.
haven't said today.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we don't know about that. They do, again, police investigations hold a lot of things close to the chest, because if they released everything to the public, how would they know who the killer is? Does that
Right.
make
But it's
sense?
not like the killer's going to be like, yes, I did lose a red Nokia
Flip phone. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how that is pertinent.
Well,
to-
depending
I
on
don't
what
know.
was on it. And if it was part of the killer's, maybe, I don't know.
God bless. I hope if it belonged to the killer, they figured that out by now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I hope it has nothing to do with the case. Otherwise, that feels.
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, so let's talk about rumors and speculation.
Now we're
So-
getting to where my head was at.
Yes.
Okay.
So I back then, and not even as much back then, but way back in, throughout the 80s and 90s.
Oh, way back.
Yeah. You would hear about a murder in a town that usually you don't see a bunch of crimes like that.
Okay, yeah.
And you're going to think, oh, devil worshiper, or, oh.
What?
No, I'm serious.
No, I know, but that's so funny. I don't think I'd immediately go to devil worshiper.
Well, that's rumors. This is rumors in the community. No,
Okay.
I'm not saying this case.
Right. No,
I'm
I know.
using that as an example. Like, there was a bunch of child molestation rings, so to speak, back in the late 80s.
Mhm.
And they, the rumor was that this was,
Like a satanic cult.
yeah, a cult that just kidnapped children, took them to hotels, and a bunch of people raped them.
Sure.
And, and they, based on a lot of that, they, convicted a lot of people wrongfully for that.
Mm.
And, you do hear, just like the Columbine school shooting back in the late 90s,
99. Just had its 25th anniversary.
yeah, it was attributed to video games and music. Like, they always stop it.
Yeah.
It's
And affluence and parents not paying attention to what their kids are doing.
well,
in
and
the
that
basement.
probably is true, but it has nothing to do with the video games, and it has nothing to do with the music.
Right.
I mean, I listen to some of that music, and I'm not shooting up downtown.
There are a lot of theories.
Yes.
Okay. So what you're saying is,
Okay. So, back then,
Yes.
in 2007, there was a big rumor going around that it could have been a gang initiation. So let me
like a hit. Yeah. Okay.
let me explain. So to become a member of a gang, you do work.
Mm-hmm.
Quote, do work. And that's slang for you. It involves with some sort of crime.
Right.
Robbing, shooting, drive-by,
Murder,
whatever,
assault, sure.
drugs, whatever. And plus, of course, also you get beat in. And that's the big initiation. Once you get beat in, it's a 2-minute beat in by fellow gang members, then you're part of the gang. But in order to do work, the rumors were door knock initiation.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this rumor again was spreading like crazy because supposedly, and let me back up. So if you remember, I'm sure you remember this or had heard of this, maybe not, that if you were driving and and somebody flashed their high beams at you.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff like that.
And if anybody listens to Chive, you know that's
not
not what they're looking for.
No, they don't care if you're high.
They're not going to flip a U-turn and come shoot you in the head.
And
no.
that was a big rumor.
Right.
So this
no, that
is
was a big. Yeah.
And so the rumor was gangs would knock on random doors and shoot whoever answers.
Okay.
And so how this got started and really took off was December 12th, 2007. So a few days later.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm, a 16-year-old Kevin Collier was watching TV. This was like early morning hours, 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. And that was in Southeast Fort Worth apartment.
Okay.
There was a knock at the door. He answered and was immediately shot and killed.
What the heck?
Was
the case solved?
Yeah. Yeah. In the case of Kevin.
I mean, good.
Yeah. It was determined in his case that it was a home invasion robbery.
Oh,
that
okay.
One of the people that had planned it had already been to the home before. So, but it was somebody, you know, the person who shot and killed him was familiar with the victims and the family.
Okay. So
And
not random.
Right. And they arrested 2 people for that murder. But
good job.
a day after that, apparently another crime in Fort Worth of a homeowner, an intended victim. Well, there's a knock at the door, armed assailant at the door, but the homeowner, the man answered the door and disarmed. I believe he had a gun. I can't remember for sure, but he disarmed the assailant. In
Good
that
job,
case.
Bob.
But once again, that was
Did he detain him, or did that guy?
Yeah,
did he get away?
He detained him, and then he was arrested, and that was an armed intruder that targeted that home. So the victim was not randomly selected, and the shooting was part of an ongoing dispute. That's all they said about that.
Oh gosh. Okay.
So again, he managed to disarm the attacker, and he was caught. So
nice.
Police quickly dispelled that rumor and emphasized that the knock and shoot aspect common in those cases were just a coincidence.
Okay.
And not related to each other, and were not a planned gang initiation.
Wait, how? But why? What? How? I don't understand the correlate. How did that dispel that?
Because they were caught.
Well, yeah, those guys were caught.
But they weren't part of a gang.
But Marianne's killer wasn't caught.
Exactly.
So he could have been part of a gang.
He could have been.
Yeah.
But we'll
I'm
see.
Just saying.
Yeah, it could be, but the police don't suspect that.
Okay.
But they again dispelled that rumor because Marianne's killer was not caught.
Mm-hmm.
But so a few months later, around Easter of 2008,
okay,
about 8 miles from Marianne's home, there was a gun found. So ballistics did prove this did match the gun found at the scene. And it did match the casings found at the crime scene.
Okay.
But there was no clear fingerprints found on it, and it was out in the elements, so probably a little bit of erosion and so forth. But
I'm guessing it wasn't registered.
Can we?
You can't see Christina, but she totally just rolled her eyes in.
But it's true. But we're going to get back more to the weapon later because
Okay.
that's an interesting aspect to this case. But I kind of wanted to bring
5
it.
months later.
Yeah, that was in late
Or 4.
March. Late March of 2008?
3?
Yeah.
3 or 4. Okay.
But it was found, and the weapon was found, and it did match. So ballistics did prove.
Was that on their way? Like you said, they left and went east?
Probably.
Was it east?
Yeah, I think it was found about 8 miles away.
That direction?
Yeah.
So they tossed it when they drove away?
Yeah, sounds
Okay.
like it.
Hmm.
So let's back up. a month.
Okay.
Let's back up to February of 2008. So a month before. So I'll get back to the gun later because that comes into play a little bit later. But
Okay.
a very big lead did come in
Ooh.
to the police department. A woman lived on the street over from Marianne.
Okay.
Her home looked very similar to Marianne's, same brick color, very similar, and it had the exact house number. Same house number.
Wrong house.
But again, the woman lived a street over. So, but she did call police and say, I think I'm the intended target.
Oh. Mm.
I think that.
But why?
Well,
Is she just not likable?
No.
Or does she just want fame?
Well,
Well.
I think next week we will look
No!
at that.
Gosh, dang it.
And I want to get into that next week as to why.
I'm gonna Google it.
Don't you dare.
If I had time, I would.
No margaritas for you then.
No margaritas for you. That's rude.
No mimosas.
No, that's fine. Okay.
But we will look at why they took this case as seriously as they did.
Huh.
And
Okay.
and it's interesting, that web of what's going
She's a
on.
crime lady. She
Maybe.
also had a garden of pot. I'm trying to get.
Also, who
No, I mean,
else?
well, Marianne had a garden,
She didn't have a garden of pot.
but this lady, I'm
What?
throwing
No, I
out
know.
theories.
I know. I
Dang
know.
it.
It is very, very interesting, but
Do they look alike?
I don't know. Because this lady, as far as I can tell from my research, has not been named.
Okay.
And there's a reason.
Dang it.
I know.
Okay.
I know. I'm
So we'll hear
sorry.
all about this next week, and I'm not allowed to
Yeah.
Google.
You're not allowed to Google.
That's
Do I need
rough.
to
Yes.
slap your hand?
You might need to call my husband and be like, don't let her. No.
And
that
I
wouldn't-
am in touch with the family, with Marianne and Dawn's son and
Okay.
daughter-in-law,
Okay.
Mike and Terry. And Marianne would be a great grandmother right now.
Oh. Is Dawn still living?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. So they
Yes.
want to know
Yes.
who, why,
Right.
something.
And, I know we've only gotten about half of this case
Mhm.
done and talked about, and we'll do the rest next week. But there's a reason, because I haven't been able to talk to Mike and Terry yet.
Okay.
So, I do want to talk to them and get their input. And, they're still devastated. And it's
Well, yeah.
been, what?
17 years?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And if anybody, there's
Almost.
somebody out there that knows something
Right.
about this case, even though I haven't finished, there is somebody that knows something about this mistaken identity.
100%.
And if you have anything, even if it's just, you saw the car driving by that
Mhm.
night and you were on the
Tarrant
Boulevard, North
Boulevard.
Tarrant Boulevard, I
Mhm.
believe. Let me go back. Yeah. If you were on North Tarrant Boulevard and saw a gold or tan car speeding by, or you saw somebody throw something out, or
Yeah.
you knew some of these players that are suspected of this, they probably talked when they
I
were.
would say, or somebody was just jibber jabbering about
That's
it.
what I'm saying. They're in
Yeah.
a bar drunk one night. You know how drunk people like to talk. And
I
I'm not drunk right now, so.
No. I know. If you were drunk, maybe I'd get the rest of the story today.
I know, right? See, that's what you need to do is liquor me up.
Now I know. If I come in with a bottle of tequila next time.
No.
No. You brought up margaritas.
I know margaritas though.
Well, okay. I can also
Mimosas.
do that.
But anyway, if anybody has any information at all about this crime or any of the crimes we've talked about, Beth Hicks, Dalen Cervantes, Please, please, please call your local Crimestoppers
Yes.
or local police departments.
We also have the Texas Rangers cold case link on our social.
Yes, and this is one of their top 12
It
cases. Is. Marianne Wilkinson plus Beth Hicks is on the Texas
They're both
Rangers.
on there.
Yeah, but if you have any information specifically about Marianne Wilkinson, please call North Richland Hills Police at 817-427-7000.
Okay, we'll put that up too.
Yes, and please, please, please follow our podcast.
Yes, please follow Silent Witness TX on Instagram or Facebook. You can hear the episodes wherever you grab your favorite podcast, Apple, iHeart, or right here on Rogue Media Network.
Yes, please follow us. And if you have a case that you
Share
want
it.
us to look at or talk about, get in touch with us on our social media, and we will be glad to feature an unsolved case.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, next week then.
Next week.
We'll learn the rest.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for listening, everybody.
Bye.
This has been a Rogue Media Network production. In a world where dreams meet reality, there exists a place where your business can flourish. That place is Shopify. Imagine having the power to craft your online store with tools that make it as easy as a gentle breeze. Whether you're an artisan of handmade wonders, a creator of digital treasures, or a curator of the latest trends, Shopify stands by your side. With its customizable templates, seamless integrations, and support that's always there, your dream store is just a heartbeat away. Join millions of visionaries around the globe and let Shopify guide you on your journey. Visit roguemedianetwork.com/Shopify. That's roguemedianetwork.com/SHOPIFY. And embark on your free trial. Shopify, where your commerce dreams come to life.